Hello, sixth graders. Welcome back to another great day. Our lesson today will use a strategy called list group label. So what you'll do is look at some terms and put them into like groups. So let's see what we got here. We have Packers, horses, Jets, 49ers, chickens, Vikings, donkeys, pigs. What could fit together? Here's Packers. Maybe Packers, chickens, and donkeys. Is this the group? Is it because Packers fans are chickens and act like donkeys? Well, maybe that's true, maybe not. I don't think so, because I also see Vikings, 49ers. What does a 49er have to do with a donkey or a pig? Would these go together? No. I know. Vikings, Packers, 49ers, and Jets. That's a group. And chickens, donkeys, horses, pigs. There's a group. So I made two groups with these terms. Now I need to make a category. So this category here would be football teams, professional football teams. This category here could be farm animals. All right, so this is called list group label. Now in your assignment, you'll see your sheet looks like this, and you have some terms that I want you to put into two groups. So we've got moving, repaired, workplaces, lodges, built, preparing, hunt, traveled, melting snow, toboggans, stories, and happy. I already gave you the categories. So one category is going to be journey to sugar camp. The other is going to be arrival at the sugar camp. So I want you to figure out which terms go in the right category. And the way you can do that is to read the text to the left. I recommend that you highlight when you find terms in here that'll help you figure out the context. So let's get started. So one more time I'll read the words to myself. Moving, repaired, workplaces, lodges, built, preparing, hunt, traveled, melting snow, toboggan, stories, happy. All right. Melting snow and ice mark the beginning of spring, called Zigwan in Ojibwe. Oh, melting snow. Here's melting snow, so I'm going to highlight that. As the weather turned warmer, Ojibwe families packed their belongings into sleds and toboggans. Okay, toboggans. Maybe I'll just put a little check mark so I know which ones I did. And left the protected pine forest where they had spent the winter. They traveled where the maple trees grew. This was the sugar camp, where the Ojibwe turned sap from maples into sugar and syrup. Let's see if there's anything that I might have missed. Happy, stories, built, preparing, hunt, traveled. Maybe traveled. Here's traveled. Okay. The journey to the sugar camp was usually an exciting and happy event. Oh, sugar camp. That's one of the categories. Is that up here? Journey, moving. Okay. Families who had not seen each other all winter joined together and continued on their way. They swapped stories and marveled at how much their children had grown. As friends and relatives reunited, they began the hard work of preparing enough food and supplies for the next winter. So let's see if there's any of those. Preparing. Oh, preparing. So preparing is right here. Where did it go? Preparing. Okay. So it sounds to me like this part has to do with moving or going to a sugar camp, because that kind of is like the term journey, and then arrival means once you're getting there. So what I would do is I would continue reading this text, highlight when you find the terms, and then I would read it one more time to see which words would match the category below. So journey to the sugar camp and arrival at the sugar camp. So let's say the journey, let's say traveled was one of them. Then I'd like you to write that term in this box. All right. So that's our first activity. The next activity, as we learn about the Ojibwe and their time in spring, is I'd like you to draw some terms. So it says, read the text to the left. Use the following terms below to draw and label what you learned about the text on this page. Okay, so gash, spout, birch bark container, boys and girls, kettles, fire, eat. Probably should be a dash right here. Okay, so I'm going to highlight anytime I find those. So they went through the maple grove cutting a gash. Okay, so got that one. A gash into the trunk of each tree. They inserted a wooden spout. A spout. It's right here. Into each gash. Oh, there's gash again. Before long, sap was dripping from the spout into the birch bark container. Oh, birch bark container. How convenient. It's kind of in order here. Okay. Then came the job of turning the sap into sugar. From sunrise to sunset, boys and girls, here's boys and girls, ran back and forth delivering containers of sap and sugar, sap to the sugar house. The sugar house was a large structure made of wooden poles and covered with bark. Inside, the children poured the sap into kettles. Oh, here's kettles. Got that. Set over burning fires. Okay, here's fire. You know, I could do better at highlighting here, not all messy. Okay. As the sap boiled down, it turned into sugar. As a reward for their work, children were allowed to eat. Eat some of the sugar. The older women stored the remaining sugar in birch bark. There's sugar again. Well, that's not one of our terms. In birch bark containers. Oh, there's another birch bark container. Birch bark containers for later use. The sugar would provide energy throughout the year. I recommend read this passage one more time. And now what you need to do is draw what you just read. Draw and label these. So what I heard was women, or Ojibwe, went through the maple grove and cut a gash in the trunk of each tree. So let's draw a tree, and a gash would be kind of this hole. So I did the gash and inserted a wooden spout. Okay, just got the spout, and it would drip into a birch bark container. So maybe they had some type of container. And then here's sap dripping. So I need to label it. So here's the gash. The gash is there. The spout is here. Birch bark container is right there. Now I need to get to the point where it's talking about boys and girls, kettles, fire, and eat. So I need to also draw that in this scene. The next section has canoes, cedar frame, birch bark, wrapped, twine, spruce gum, women, men, and children. So I want you to read this text, highlight it, and draw the scene here. All right, everybody, in summary, today you are going to do list group label as you learn about Ojibwe Spring. So you're going to put these words in the correct category. Then you're going to read about making maple syrup, making maple sugar, and you're going to use these terms and label them in a picture. Have a great day, everybody, and it's almost the weekend. Adios.